Hello, I'm Pearl, and welcome back to Masterpiece Theater. Today we are covering the fabulous talents of Tara and Bea. They were very versatile actresses, known for movies that dealt with travel, time, and time travel. Who can forget their first foray? Two gals road tripping along, Tara and Bea. That smash hit was followed up by a sequel, Bea to the Futera, Part 2. Perhaps their most popular was a time travel movie that took us all around time. Bea and Tara's excellent adventure. But, as you may know, their greatest adventure is coming up, and you'll be hearing all about it on Mama Needs to Read Romance.
Hello everyone, my name is Bea and I am here to tell you about one of the most exciting times of the year. That's right, it's the EVER After-a-thon. This is the brainchild of Crystal from Books for Ever After, whose birthday is May 25th, and she wants to celebrate with all of us by hosting yet another fabulous readathon this spring. The dates for the readathon are May 1st through the 25th, which is her birthday. This readathon is going to be so much fun. It boasts 4 different teams, each with 2 co-captains. I'll tell you about them in just a moment. You can earn points, complete weekly challenges, and even win some incredible books in the final week through Crystal's giveaway. What will we be doing all month long? We'll be reading whatever books we want, but I'll talk to you about the points and ways to get more in just a moment. There will be plenty of live shows hosted by any booktuber that wants to. The co-hosts, of course, will be hosting some, including reading sprints with friends, as well as other live shows with quizzes and author interviews. You can spread the fun on Instagram as well, but aside from YouTube, this is going to be very Discord heavy. So Crystal recommends that if you can, join our Discord. It's linked in my description box, and of course she'll have more information on the Discord in her video, also linked in my description box, and right here. So let's talk a little bit more about the teams to see which one you want to join. There's a clear best one. I'm not going to say which one. You'll just know. Into fairy tale retellings? Then you might want to be on Team Cinderella. It's hosted by Daphne of Being Daphne and Affi of Fifi Reads Romance. The 2 tropes that are going to go along with this team are class difference and masquerade ball. Into dark romance? Then you might want to join Team Governess, which is led by Hope of Hope Volm and Amber of Amber Reads Romance. This team focuses on gothic or dark romance, with the 2 team tropes of forbidden love and second chance. Want to sail the high seas this spring? Then you might want to go with Team Pirate. We've got April of Happily Ever April and Monika of Pardon This Book Addict heading up this team. These are all pirate romance or romance just on the seas, with the team tropes of forced proximity, of course, and hidden identity. And last but certainly not least is Team Traveler, hosted by myself, as well as, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, Tara of Tara Talks Books. Yes, that's right. Crystal let us be co-captains of the same team. It's gonna get crazy, folks. Get ready to clutch those pearls. We are focusing on time travel romance with the team tropes of friends to lovers and soulmates. Okay, you're convinced. You're ready right now, even though it doesn't start until May 1st. So, okay, let's talk about what you need to do. Number 1, pick your team. Traveler, right? Yes, I knew you were thinking that. Number 2, sign up for the readathon on the Google sign-up sheet, which is linked in my description box, and it will also be in the Discord, which is also linked below. Step 3, join the Discord. You don't have to do it, but you will have way more fun if you do. Step 4, subscribe and follow all the co-hosts. Isn't that nice? Step 5, this is the hardest one, read. Step 6, the most important of all, log your reading on the book tracker, which is another Google Doc found in the Discord and in my description box. We'll talk about the points in a second. And number 7, you're going to be logging your weekly challenges by every Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for an extra 50 points. The team tier rankings will be posted every Monday evening based on Eastern Daylight Time. Get ready to go down, every team but Traveler. I don't know how to talk trash. Let's just have fun, right? That's what Crystal said. She wants this to be all about fun, and I could not agree more. What do you get, by the way, if you win bragging rights? And who doesn't love that? Okay, so let's talk about the points. The easiest part of points is for every page you read, you get a point. Well, you may be asking, what if I listen to the book? Or what if I read it on my Kindle? Go to Amazon, find the page count, and then just input that number of pages. You may also be asking, what happens if I didn't finish the book? If you didn't finish the book, then only count the points that you read. For every single page you read during this readathon, you get 1 point. Easy. Right? Okay, now here comes the more challenging part. And I'm going to talk about the points a little bit differently because as a teacher, I know that people have different learning styles. So I'm going to sort of model for you the different points. I don't know if this will be helpful, hopefully, but let's try it this way and see if it works out well. Here I am reading Jessica Seinfeld's Deceptively Delicious Cookbook. You get points no matter what you read. I don't know why you'd read a cookbook. But if I read, this is page 79, if I read 79 pages of this cookbook, I could get 79 points. And then that's it. Now, here's where it gets a little trickier. Now, here I am reading a romance book. So not only do I get points for every page I've read, I also get an additional 50 points. Now, here I am reading an historical romance. I get a point for every page that I've read, and I also get 300 additional points because it's 300 extra points for historical romance. Now, let's say I'm reading this book on my Kindle. I would get points for every page read, 300 points because it's historical romance, and 150 points extra because it's my team's character. But you may be saying, B, what if I want to read Cinderella and I'm a traveler? Or what if I want to read a pirate? Okay, I got you covered. Let's talk about this one. This is my favorite Cinderella retelling, which if I wanted to help this team Cinderella, I would say that, but I don't want to help them. No, I'm just kidding. So this is Eloisa James's A Kiss at Midnight, which I love. And let's just look at the step back. I mean, come on. You knew I had to do that. My point is, though, let's say I read this. I'm getting a point for every page I read. I'm getting 300 points for historical romance. And I'm getting 25 extra points for reading another team's character. And now, of course, we also need to talk about the subgenres, right? So let's say as a traveler, I'm reading this on my Kindle, which is coming out this spring, by the way. I'm really excited about it. We're even going to have this author on. It's going to be one of our live shows. Anyway, so I'm reading this. I get a point for every page read. We knew that. I get 300 points for historical romance. We knew that. But because I'm also reading my team's subgenre, which happens to be the same thing as the character, technically I'm going to get 150 points for the team character and 100 points for the subgenre. Bing, bing. It's a lot of points. But you may be thinking again, B, what if I want to read another subgenre besides my team's subgenre? You can do that. Here's an example, The Shadows of Stormcliffe Hall by the fabulous Lauren Smith. You'd be getting a point for every single page read. You'd be getting 300 points for historical romance. And because this is a dark or gothic story, if you're not on Team Governess, you'd be getting 25 additional points for reading another team's subgenre. And let's talk about tropes too. So let's say I read this. This is my favorite Friends to Lovers. One of my favorite Friends to Lovers historical romances. I'm getting a point for every page I've read of this. I'm getting 300 points for historical romance, and I'm getting 75 points because I read my team's trope, one of my team's tropes, which is Friends to Lovers. Now, the other team trope, soulmates, is a little bit trickier. I want to do a really fun rec video later in April to talk about soulmates, because that one's a trickier one. I don't know if with the time travel, it probably isn't, because you could argue that, like, for example, if I were to read this, you could argue that they're soulmates, I would think. So that would be a point for every page of this book, 300 points for historical romance, 150 points for the team character, time traveler, and 100 points for team subgenre, time travel, and then 75 points for the soulmates trope. Now, if you can find a book that's soulmates and Friends to Lovers, which I can't think of any off the top of my head now, it's coming. Suggestions loading later this month. You would get 150 points for your trope because you would add 75 plus 75. That's 150. Did this stop making sense? But you may be thinking, yet again, you just keep thinking outside the box, guys. I'm so impressed. B, what if I want to read another team's trope? Can I get extra points? Yes, you can. Let's talk about one of my very favorites. Again, the magic, which again, we got to look at the step back, guys. You knew it. You knew it was going to happen. So we're talking about what? 1 point for every page you read, 300 points for historical romance. Then you get, let's pretend I'm doing Team Governess, and their team tropes are Second Chance and Forbidden Love. You can't double dip, even though this technically is both of those tropes. I would get 25 additional points. You can only count one trope, even though this is technically two, but that's okay. But wait, there's more ways to earn points. You could also get 50 additional points for reading a BIPOC author or a book featuring a BIPOC character. BIPOC standing for Black, Indigenous, Peoples of Color, for anyone that needs a refresher on that acronym. Let's do the math on this one. We've got pages read, 1 point each, 300 points for historical romance, plus I would get an additional 50 points because Stacy Reid is a BIPOC author. This, for example, is part on the water too, so I would get 25 extra points from Team Pirate, and you would definitely also get 25 additional points for Team Trope because this, for example, like Team Cinderella has class difference, which they definitely are, so that would be 25 points, or I could even do Hidden Identity from Team Pirate again for a total of this many points. Gotta do the math. It'll look better. Another fun way to earn additional points would be reading LGBTQIA historical romance. So this would be a point for every page read, 300 points for historical romance, 50 additional points for LGBTQIA rep and author, because it says author and or rep. So it's and, you only get 50 points. Something to keep in mind. I'm not getting 100 points for this just because the author and the characters are LGBTQIA plus. This, by the way, features a lot of water and a ship captain, so I would also get 25 additional points because it's part of Team Pirate. And there's one more way to earn points. You can get 25 additional points if you read a book that isn't set in England or Scotland. Crystal hails partly from Portugal, and that country is near and dear to her heart. So if you read a book set in Portugal, for example, you're gonna get 25 additional points. This goes for historical romance only, by the way. Do I have some recommendations for you? Giovanna Siniscalchi, one of my favorite historical romance authors. You may remember we did the medieval night back in March. It was so much fun. She's an incredible writer, and the vast majority of her books are set in Portugal. So this is a great opportunity to try her out. Her books are so yummy. Surely you couldn't have a single question after that amazing explanation. But in case you do, don't forget you can find any of us online. In this video, feel free to leave a comment on Discord, on Instagram. You could even email me at beingpositive@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And we can't finish without talking about another great way to earn points, which is the weekly challenges. Yes, that's right, there's more. Did you forget about those challenges? Well, I sure didn't, and I want to tell you the first challenge starts right now. That's right. Whenever you make a TBR for the Ever After-a-thon, if you post it on Instagram, Discord, that is your very first challenge, which you will be getting this many points for. I can't remember. Wait, I do remember. No, I do. I do remember, right? It's somewhere in here, isn't it? For an extra 50 points. Yes, I got it. I got it. Crystal has some gorgeous books for her giveaway towards the end of the Readathon. Head over to her channel to see what those giveaway books are. They're beautiful. All right, so that's it from me. Now go. Join Team Traveler. Create your TBR. Let's win this thing. But most importantly, we're gonna read. We're gonna have so much fun. I really can't wait. Let me know in the comments, what team are you planning on joining, Traveler? Or if you'd like, you can just leave me an emoji about how this readathon makes you feel. Hopefully it's a good one. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're reading. And I hope you enjoy it even more during the Ever After-a-thon. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.